Live from our headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria, you're welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV. I am Henry Igwike, and of course I have the finest of them all.
Good morning, Henry.
Good morning, how are you today?
Oh, well, I think the holiday ended too soon.
Too very soon, yes. It's they call it the weekend holidays. You know, started Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and well, it's same old. A weekend of festivities, actually.
Right. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. You're welcome.
All right. So it's time for our newspaper review segment, and we are heading straight to the Punch newspaper to see what we have for you this morning. On the Punch, we have on the masthead, these clothes make 1 trillion naira amid bread prices. Admitted customers paid 5.8 million.
Yeah, so on the rider of that story, we have Viscas grew revenue by 30% in 2023. Overbilled customers despite agreed collapse. And the sub-rider there says electricity tariff hike looms as federal government raises gas price.
All right. Just above the mast, we have Tinubu African leaders grace Senegal's president swearing in today.
And on the downstream of the same newspaper, we have police go after hoodlums for raiding night bus and robbing passengers.
All right, so that's the story that we are considering today. And to do that with us is an unalloyed barrister at law. He is a consummate public affairs analyst, lettered to the core to look at the issues with us. He's a solution-centric man, I would say. I love to call him, and that's no other than Barrister
Evans Ufele. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to Enterprise Morning today.
Thank you very much.
All right.
So to begin the discussion today on the newspaper segment, we're considering police go after hoodlums for raiding night bus and robbing passengers. So I saw this story yesterday, Barrister, and I got really worried. The story, reads that on Saturday, I think so, over the weekend, around the Benin area, the bus had left Mazamaza, close to Festa, and headed for somewhere in the east. And 59 passengers were robbed. And then, to make matters even worse, the bus was, put on fire while the passengers were inside the bus. But thank God for providence, they were able to break the windows, and then, no life was lost. But again, looking at the story, it makes me particularly worried about the state and the state of insecurity that we see, on our highways. Again, there's some level of inertia on the part of the federal government, and then outright slumber on the part of the state government. But as we speak, there's a law on some conversation around on the floor of the Senate about lawful citizens owning firearms. I don't know what the law stipulates, what the law supports in terms of that, but I would like that you help us to expatiate more on what the law stipulates about, indigents owning firearms, because obviously the state government, federal government has failed in its duty to ensure security.
Yes, they are both security issues. The accident or the event that happened and the conversation on citizens owning firearm. In fact, the senator that promulgated that bill is from my own constituency.
Ned
Nwoko represents my constituency. That's Delta North Senatorial District. Now, the argument that citizens should own firearm or should be licensed to own firearm is neither here nor there. I don't think the average Nigerian have the cognitive capacity and discipline to own firearm. It takes a lot to own firearm. You must be extremely disciplined. I've not seen that discipline within Nigerians. I don't think that's a solution to the problem on that reference. That's my own understanding about it. Just Nigerians who are licensed by local government to own Okada. If you see what they do with your Okada, it will tell you that there's nothing that is a firearm or that should be of any other thing that you should give to them. You shouldn't. Citizens who go to the expressway to defecate are the citizens who want to give firearms. They don't have the discipline. So you give them firearm and the next thing they will shut down their streets, their neighborhood and all that. already. The cultists are using firearms. Not too long ago, 2 days ago at K2 here, there have been constant killing every day for the past 3 weeks. Every day, cultists and all that. These are people who are sneaking with firearms. So I don't think that's the solution. Then to this problem of the insecurity, you see, it's changed. It's a value chain. You know, there are countries I have been to where all their expressways are lightened. Okay, if you have the expressway light up, okay, the activities of criminals and criminal gangs, well, that's why we say let's have electricity and let's have CCTV cameras. You know, you cannot talk about CCTV cameras without talking about lights. Okay, let us have electricity and have CCTV cameras across our express road. Whether by day or by night, let everything be working so that it does not cost the whole world to fix this thing. That fund, that 160 million each that they used to buy cars, National Assembly can fix that project. Get power station. Now, these days, you can even use solar. In most estates today, solar they use to lighten up the streets. Okay? So why can't we have, because if you lighten up everywhere, it will be difficult for criminals to congregate. And even when they do that, they know they will be caught. Okay? Then at every city, you should have security network, highway security network, that will be able to monitor distance. Maybe every 300 kilometers you have one checkpoint that have a control room that monitor backward. Then when you go front after that 300 kilometers, you have another checkpoint that monitor backward. So the whole stretch is monitored and they are synchronized so that this team can communicate with this team can communicate with the other. That is how the UK is safe. But yeah, you are not ready for all that. What they do now, okay, look at the debates now. So to curb insecurity, you are not asking that somebody is debating that citizens should have firearms. That won't solve the problem. It won't solve it, you aggravate the problem. Just look at the things we already have given license to own. How do we hold those things? How do we use them? How do we manage it? I don't think we're ready for that. Let's use technology to create the kind of desired security that is all over the world. People have done these things and it's working. So let's do that rather than give citizens. In the US, where the license gone for citizens to use, not in all states anyway, but in the states where they have it, they are having a very big problem now as to how to take those guns out or how to undo that law. It's a big problem. You remember the guy that in Texas that went to the school gates. The moment the children closed from school and they were coming out from the gate, he opened fire at them and killed 44 before he was bundled. In Florida, the same thing happened all over the US. The one that shot 44 children was asked why he said he's tired of life. This is a stable economy. The US is a stable economy. The quality of human person in terms of welfare is better up there. You understand? So to now say we should come and start to carry gun up and down, I don't think that's how to solve the problem.
All right, so very well. Let's move on to our next daily for today. It's coming from the Daily Trust newspaper, and the big story here says a petrol subsidy removal 10 months after federal government yet to roll out electric vehicles. And we have the writer there's energy crisis threatens a project, charging stations inadequate in states. And the sub-writer there's the experts task government on infrastructure. Children, what else do we have on the Daily Trust?
Still on the Daily Trust, we have 8 arrested as Unimade lecturer stabbed to death in his office. And also we have 13 killed, 2 injured in Kogi auto crash.
Yes, and we have still on the Daily Trust, before we get into discussing the main issue here, Wike Damagom's fate uncertain as the PDP holds NEC convention. And Barrister, let's talk about this issue of of course, you've always said it about the subsidy removal by the president and how impulsive he made it look and all that. And right now, it's been stated that 10 months after the federal government to roll out electric vehicles, and the question is, why do you think we should be talking about electric vehicles when there are no sufficient infrastructure to even support electric vehicles in the first place?
That is how we talk anyhow. We talk anyhow. Because right now we are talking about, we're just only talking about electricity now. Okay, so if you have electric vehicles, you need electricity to charge them, right?
Yeah.
And when you don't have electricity, what now happens? So you are going to have charging points across our expresses. Or is that what we're talking about? Most of these things we are trying to do. Once we just travel and see anything, we want to feel that we can do it. We cannot do it. We cannot do it because we don't have power supply. And that is the shame of the century, that in 2024, we don't have power. So we're talking about power, how we're going to get light. Where is the light? Where is NEPA? Where is distribution? Where is national grid? Have you ever heard, when was the last time you read in an international magazine about national grid? It does not exist anywhere again. We are the only ones left in that facade is an abyss. Technology has gone beyond, it is the crudest form of generating electricity using a national grid. Everybody is plugged into this thing. You see that our centralized mentality, everybody will go to one place to collect something that can be decentralized. That's the problem we have. Okay. See, even if we have enough gas, okay, we're still going to be having technical issues on the grid. When they say the grid has collapsed, it does not mean it's insufficient gas, or it does not mean the Kanji dam is not working or not generating. What it means is that the grid itself is weakened already. This high tensions you see cannot carry beyond the particular capacity. You understand? Because they are old. Okay, they are not even modern. It's not the modern version you have. Most of them have been there since the 80s.
Yeah, very true.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that is what you are going to use in 2024 to compete with other countries.
But the question is this, Barrister, is this a factor of lack of sufficient education on the part of our leaders, or is it that our leaders pretend not to know the truth?
It's not sufficient education. They don't want you and I to become anything. They have made up their mind that at no point should the average Nigerian be relevant in any way. Just look at how they go about, how they treat other people. When it has to do with a bill that will take care of their welfare. In fact, there was a bill that was passed in 1 week. In 1 week, I can't remember the bill now, but it has to do with
themselves.
Yes, in 1 week it has been passed. The next week is before the president. Okay? But when you talk about something like public health care, they will start to debate. They dare go here because they know they can go abroad to get medicals and all that. They can afford it at your expense. Okay? So, we don't have the leaders that are ready to move this country forward. We don't have them. From the president to the senators we don't have the leaders. And it's unfortunate when you have a country where leaders don't care about the people they took an oath to serve. It's worrisome. Everybody want to cut everybody. Everybody want to collect and dodge, and everybody want to outsmart everybody. You cannot advance a country like that. When they say a country is world power, it's because the country invests in the citizens. Collectively, the citizens are healthy. If this government empower the citizen, you see all these people that are kidnapping, or these people that go commit crime, it's the citizens, not the police. It's the citizens that go and arrest those people and bundle them and hand them over to police. I'm telling you. But when the citizens are not empowered, there's little or nothing they can do. Those people who were traveling in the night by bus, in the UK, people who travel by bus are people who do it for fun.
Just to experience.
Yeah, everybody flies. You pay fly. You are empowered. If you are not empowered, you start going through the bush, go and stand on the road with insecurity. You just enter. You don't have a choice. You understand? So I think we are not getting it right, and we're not going to get it right soon because we're not doing anything about our current condition.
Now, do you think the offshoot of compressed natural gas for our vehicles would maybe soften the situation of lack of sustainable and cheap transportation for Nigerians?
That's supposed to be the case because we have a huge deposit of natural gas. I mean, Upper Delta State have the highest in the whole of Africa.
Really?
One community, yes.
Wow.
You understand? And these guys have been fled. Okay, we could capture them and pipe them and use them to, for production, for electricity, for the electric cars and all that. So you could do that. We have it in so many places. Even in Ghana they use electric cars. They also use the other one that use gas and all that, gasoline, So it could, if the regulation is right, because now the projection or the natural consequences that it should be cheaper. But I'm being careful in this analysis to say it will be cheaper because we have fuel, we have crude oil, we have everything, and it's very expensive. You understand? So this one now I'm talking about gas, now I'm saying it will be cheaper. That's why I said the regulations must be right. Okay? Regulations must be right. Gas can be processed here. Okay? Gas can be processed here. But we don't know what the regulation is going to be, how the regulation is going to be, and what the costs is going to be when we transit to that. But it's important that this model we're using, we do something about it. It's no longer affordable.
Thank you so much, Mr. Evans Ifedi, for always doing justice to the topics that we look at. Let's take the Guardian.
No, let's take the Daily Times.
Okay, so the Times has stories. Okay, so on the mass, we have how we are lobbying EDGE to secure release of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes, and we have on the right there, or just the support for Tinubu says he means well for Ndi Igbo.
Right.
Yeah.
Troops neutralize several terrorists in Northwest. Intercept illicit drugs in Ogun.
Yes, on the top strip of the Daily Times newspaper, electricity consumers increased to 12.12 million in Q4 of 2023, and that's coming from the NBS.
And below the mask, we also have palliatives, not solution to current hardship, and this is credited to Dewey.
All right, the Barrister, let's take a look at a very burning issue, of course, as it concerns the south east of Nigeria, and no other person than Kanu, and it's coming from Kalu also, who is saying that there is a lobbying going on with the federal government to have a release of Nnamdi Kanu. Now the question is, do you think that is possible, even in the first place?
Yes, we've been saying that for some time now. I think we discussed it some time ago here. Is the Deputy Speaker of the House, okay? He has said that repeatedly, but this thing is a political solution they're trying to explore. The court having not granted Nnamdi Kanu bail. So this political situation they're trying to, is actually the right way to go if they're able to manage it through. Because he had made the statement that once it's released, the insecurity in the East will be quelled. Okay? That is his projection actually, because the truth is that before IPOB and the protests or the cry for secession, the East was relatively a peaceful place.
True.
Yes, but you have one or two states where you have criminal activities like robbery, unconnected to terror attacks and attacking police stations and burning down NEC offices. Those ones were not in existence there. And we have said that why should the Easterners allow themselves or turn that axis to the north, where we already have northeast, where we're already having so much problems. Okay, so they should give it a shot. He should stop talking about it. They should go and do it and release him, because now that he's saying it now, what are you going to do with this information? To join them or to go and bring him out? So He's been saying that since they should go and do what they want to do, get him out, let him go and solve the problem he technically created, because it was his absence that led to the no work Monday, sit at home this thing, which also some persons have hijacked the struggle. That is the one that is now giving him concern. I mean, Nnamdi Kanu, that criminal elements have taken over the
struggle.
Yes, and they are using it to commit different kind of offenses, and because these people who are fighting for secession, they are not actually identified. Like, when you see them, you can't say this one is for the struggle or this one is not. So even the ESN, people can impersonate them.
Very true.
Use their to go and commit offense. There are people now going around the southeast now, collecting tax from people in the name of using it to fight for secession. So criminality it's gone deep. So I think when he's released now, he has a very huge work in his hands to clean and resuscitate that axis before he ever makes any pronouncement as to whether secession should be an issue for discourse.
All right, very well said. And that's just about the time we have for our newspaper segment today. I'd love to say thank you to Dr. Vance Ofeli for being part of our show today.
It's my
pleasure.
Thank you very much.
All right, so...
when we return, Tinubu heads to Dakar for the inauguration of Senegal's new president. Stay with us.